Hello everyone, I am Amod and welcome to my YouTube channel. As you know that I have created a playlist on the new API client called Bruno, and I have already covered the introduction of Bruno, its installation, performing CRUD operations and integrating Git with Bruno in my previous videos. So in the last video I have used command line tool to integrate Bruno with GitHub repository, and literally I used git commands to push the collection to the GitHub repo. But Bruno also provides Git UI like we have in Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ. So using that UI, you can easily integrate Bruno with the Cloud Git repository. So recently I tried this Git UI of Bruno and wanted to cover the same in this video tutorial. And then you can think if it is worth. So let's get started. So first of all, I need to create one new repository in any Git cloud provider. For example, I am going to use GitHub here. So to create a new repository, we can use this plus sign and select new repository. You can give any name like Bruno Git UI and let it be public. Click on create repository. So basically here I am going to store my Bruno collection. So this is the collection which I have created in my previous videos. So if you select any request in a collection, on the top right hand side you can see one option Git. This will come only if you have taken the paid version of Bruno. Otherwise you will not see this option. And this collection is locally present in this directory. So basically we cannot perform any git operation on this directory as of now because this is a normal directory. To perform git commands or git operations, we need to make this normal repository as a git repository. And for that, if you remember in the previous video, I have used git init command, which basically create a .git folder in the collection directory. Since we're using git UI of Bruno, let's see how can we perform the same operation. So if you go to your Bruno API client and click on this Git option, a pop-up will appear and it will say initialize Git repository. And it is saying that this will initialize a Git repository in this collection. That means wherever we have stored this collection, which I just shown you, there it will create a .git folder. So you need to click on this initialize button. Let's click on it and you can see one message git repository initialized. And if you go to your local directory, you can see .git folder has been created. So whatever operation we just performed, that was equivalent to git init command. So now this repository is a git repository. The next step was to add and commit the changes. For that we use git add command followed by git commit. So let's see how can we perform the same action using Git UI of Bruno. So now after initializing the repository, you can see here we see master, which is basically a branch, local branch. And if you click on this drop down, you can see we have some options like checkout branch, push, pull, remotes, and Git UI. After initializing, you want to basically see the changes so that you can stage and commit. But here we don't see any direct option. And for that, you need to basically select this Git UI. If you click on this, then you see a new tab is opened. And here we have some tabs like readme, commits, tags, and changes. So basically here you can see all the changes. And as of now, you can see it is U, which is untracked because we haven't added anything to the Git tracking area. That's why it is coming as U. So here for every file, you have some options like you can do discard change, you can stage change, and then this is the basically status of the file which is untracked. And here you can see total 7 files are there. Here we have 6 requests, but here it is coming 7 files. So if you see the directory, here we see something called Bruno. This is basically containing the collection information that I have already covered in my previous video. That's why here you see total 7 changes. So now I need to add these files to staging area so that we can commit. So you can select individual plus sign to add a specific file to the staging area, or if you want to add everything, you can use this plus sign. So let me add all changes. Now you see one option commit changes. So click on this commit changes and you can give the first commit message, maybe initial commit, and you can click on commit button. So now changes tab has zero entry. So two steps done. Now we need to push the changes to my GitHub repository. So for that you need to connect remote here. If you try to push without connecting remote, let's see what happens. So click on master dropdown, select push. So here it says no remotes found. Please add a remote to push changes, which is a clear cut message. So here you can see local we have master branch, but for remote server we don't have any remotes. That's why it is giving an error here. So let's close it and click on this master dropdown again. And here we have remotes. Select this. It says no remotes found, obviously. Then click on add remote. So I'm going to copy the URL of my GitHub project. And then here you can give any name, maybe remote, and paste the URL. Click on save. So it says the message remotes added successfully. Close it. Now click on master, and if you select push option, then you can see from local master branch, it is going to push to this remote and it will be this master branch. So let's click on push. So it says changes pushed successfully, and it has also set up the track so that you can easily push and pull. Let's close it. And if you go to your repository and refresh this tab, you can see all the files are present in my repository. So I think it was really simple to push the changes. Now let's do some changes. So I will open this create booking, and here total price I will change from 111 to 222. Let's save it. So to see the new changes, again need to go to Git UI, and here under the changes you can see one change. So again need to follow the same process. This time the status of this file is modified M. So you can click on this plus sign and you can give the commit message modified price, and then you can commit. And to push this new change to the remote repository, again you need to click on this master and you can push the changes. So this information you understand now, and you can click on this push button. So you can see changes pushed successfully, and if you come to your GitHub repository and refresh, you can see create booking request has been modified with the latest commit message. Now let's see how can we pull the changes. So now I'm going to make some changes using GitHub itself. So I will open this trade booking request, go to edit mode, and here instead of 1256, I'm going to change it to 12567, and let me commit the changes. Click on commit changes. So basically I have done some changes in my GitHub repository which is not present here as of now. So I need to pull the changes from the master branch. So for that, we can go to this master dropdown and select pull. So it is saying that pulling changes from remote master. So click on pull. So you can see changes pulled successfully. And if you go to your trade booking request, you can see the booking ID has been updated. Now let's see how it behaves in case of conflict. So for that, I'm going to make one change in locally. So I'm going to change price from 222 to 333, and let's save it. And I'll go to Git UI again. And here, let me quickly commit the local changes. Updated price to 333. Done. Now I'm going to make change using GitHub. So I will open this request, create booking, and click on edit. And here maybe I can change name John. Let me commit changes. So basically now I have local change and one change in the remote as well. So if I try to push the change, what will happen? So try to click on push. So it's saying pushing changes from local master to remote master. Click on this push button, and it is giving some error. Updates were rejected because the remote contains work that you do not. That means remote has more changes which we don't have in my local. So it is giving the hint like do the git pull before pushing again. So for that, I'm going to close all these models and click on master, pull it from here. Let's click on pull. So you can see changes pulled successfully. And if you go to your create booking request, you can see the first name has been modified. And now you can push the changes as well. So if you try to push, it will be successful this time. Now let's try to reduce a merge conflict. So locally, I'm going to modify this price. Let me save it and I'll go to Git UI and here I can commit this change with some commit message like updated again. Click on commit. Now using GitHub, I'm going to modify the same field. So instead of 333, I'm going to use 555. Let me commit the changes. Click on commit changes. So we know that we need to pull the changes first. So I'm going to directly click on master and select pull. Let's pull the changes. So now it's saying that error occurred and it is merge conflict in create booking info.bro. Automatic merge failed. Fix conflicts and then commit the result. So now let's see how can we resolve merge conflict using GIT UI. Let's close all the dialog boxes and if you click on this drop down, you don't see any option to see the merge conflicts. Let's go to Git UI and here also you don't see anything. Now let's open the request itself, which is create booking. And here you can see locally we have this change, but from remote this is coming. You can see these arrows. You must have seen this previously. And I literally feel this is very confusing if you have worked with IntelliJ or some other Git UI tools. But you know what is the changes? So here I'm going to remove remote changes. So I will delete this part and I will keep my changes. So you need to remove this as well. So I have resolved the conflict. You need to save it. If you go to Git UI, so here it shows one changes, but unfortunately I don't see any option or any way to commit that. Not sure why. Because we have changed or basically resolved the merge conflict. So for that I needed to use command line tool. So I'll go to this directory and let's open CMD. And if you run git status command, it says we have unmerged path create booking info.bro. So after confirming what code we want, I need to commit that change again. So for that, I need to use git add. Let me use dot or you can give the file name also. If you run git status command again, you can see all conflicts fixed, but you are still merging. So for that, it's saying that you need to use git commit command to conclude the merge. So here I need to use git commit -m and give the message like resolved conflict. Hit enter. Run the git status command again. Now we have working tree clean. So now if you go to your Bruno API client and open the Git UI again, this time you can see zero changes. And now if you try to push, then it will be successful. So now you can see changes pushed successfully. And here also, if you refresh, we should see the updated details. So that's all in this video. If you have any doubt, please comment on this video. If you really like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with others. Thank you, everyone.